Through my research of understanding what abstract was, I realized in that moment that it needed to be a cohesive image. The objective or the challenge was a wallet. Welcome back to Talk Parlor number 13. I'm Adam.
And I'm Jordan.
Speaking of Jordan, I have found her! She is no longer MIA.
Yes, I have returned.
So, with that being said, that I found Jordan, we did have our challenge. And would you like to discuss what it was?
Oh, this week was very, very interesting. We kind of hit our little critical number one that we have on our roll sheet, which is Crayola crayons. And so this week we had to do an everyday item, which we ended up rolling a wallet for. We had to do abstract in a cosmic vibe color palette, and we had to use Crayola crayons. Which at first I was really excited for. You know, who doesn't like the color of the crayons? But
I was not excited.
I was not excited. And it almost feels like every time I get this cosmic vibe color palette, it just screws us a little bit. It's never a fun challenge with a cosmic vibe color palette.
You know, the cosmic vibe didn't bother me, the wallet didn't bother me, the abstract didn't bother me. The crayons bothered me. Because I felt like I was going back to grade school.
Yeah. Funny story.
I was not too sure about how to react to that.
Right.
And so I instantly jumped on Google and I started Googling.
You were gonna purchase some freaking crayons.
Yeah, I was.
And I said, Adam, you cannot buy these $300 crayons. Okay, we have to use. Can we say Crayola? We have to use Crayola crayons.
Yeah.
Okay. Not sponsored. We have to use the OG crayons. And funny story, kind of side quest story real quick. I used to work in the photo department at Walgreens in Montana. And if you've ever been in Montana, you'll notice that there are tons of canola fields. And if you've ever seen a canola field, they are bright, bright yellow. I mean, it's really a majestic look. It's super cool. Anyways, I get these two older women. They're from down south somewhere. And they are asking me what these beautiful fields are. And I was like, oh, that's the state's crayon. And they're what? And I'm like, yeah, you know, Crayola. Every state has their own crayon that they make. So you'll see, you know, different fields, and that's the crayons that they make. These women fell for it. And it was so good. I had them fully convinced that Big Crayola was out here with every state. And we grew fields of crayons. It was great. Their faces whenever they realized it was such a joke, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Funny.
Yes.
That's funny. Shame on you.
I know. It was so good though. It was so worth it.
So yeah, I was not excited about the Crayola crayon part of it. There's just nothing exciting to me about it. I played around with it when I was in grade school, and I'm like, you know, I was like, I'm in grade school, so you kind of, you know, you have very limited knowledge of shading and layering colors to get, you know, to get different effects that you want.
There is that youthful innocence with coloring with crayons. That's why I personally was excited for putting crayons on the board. But for this challenge specifically, I was.
Yeah, I could care less if they're on the board, to be honest with you. You know, the cosmic vibe, I honestly think I just think it's a crappy roll. Yeah. I mean, in all honesty, every time we get the color, it's not that it's a bad color palette to work with. I honestly like working with the color palette. It's just we haven't had anything great to complement.
Yeah,
with.
exactly. You know, if we could get a new school with this cosmic vibe and something neat, you know, that's totally different ballpark. Yeah. But on these rolls, it just goes to show we are never getting exactly what we want. There's always that twist in the turn of the dice speaking and the gotcha moment.
But that's why we do this. I mean, it's the you can't get any more randomized than this.
Right.
I mean, other than throwing it in some sort of AI generator, obviously, but I mean, for us and kind of theming it the way we've themed it, I mean, this is about as random as you're ever going to get,
Yeah.
and that's the whole idea behind it, and that's what makes it so incredibly challenging. Um, yeah,
Artist block does not exist anymore.
no, it doesn't. I mean, you really got to kind of think about it and really just kind of hit the ground running
Right.
because from the time that we roll, you just got to you're constantly thinking about it and you're constantly
Yes.
trying to understand, what it is and how to go about doing it. And I think a lot of this really, this challenge here in particular, I feel like a lot of it really revolved around the research.
Yeah, it definitely did. It definitely did. And it for me, it revolves around taking inspiration from other photos online and especially from your piece that you had
Yeah, because
completed so early.
I finished early. I was done by
Yeah,
Thursday or Friday. I mean,
right.
I guess it was Saturday morning I got finished, but you know, I was having I was struggling a bit in the beginning, and then I finally just was like, okay,
Mhm.
what is abstract
Yeah,
exactly?
and that was such a key important part of this.
And I know you've got it pulled up.
Mhm.
It's so, to give you all the exact description of what abstract art is, it does not attempt to represent an accurate depiction of reality, but instead uses shapes, colors, forms, gestural marks to achieve its effect. It really aims to convey emotion.
Yes. And
Um,
kind of demands a little bit of a narrative as well, you know?
right.
Yeah.
So once you could wrap your head around, or once I was able to wrap my head around, um, uh, what abstract was, and I basically got one thing out of the definition, and that was it's something that has to portray feeling.
Mhm.
It's using different shapes. It's creating something that's readable using different shapes, but that conveys a feeling.
Mhm.
And you know, being young, we all go through the stage of the empty feeling of not having money.
Yeah, yeah, so let's
You
go ahead
know,
and jump into the design. How did you come up with yours, Adam? Because it is very powerful and it's super moving whenever you look at it.
well, that was just it. I was looking at uh, through my research of understanding what abstract was. I realized in that moment that it needed to be a cohesive image.
Mhm.
Yes, the objective or the challenge was a wallet, but to do just a wallet and make it convey feeling, it's not possible.
Yeah, it's not possible.
So
I mean,
you have to have you have to have an image with a wallet. You have to have something with the wallet
right,
to convey feeling.
right. Kind of like I said, like demanding that narrative,
Right.
demanding a story. There is something more than just, oh, this is a cool picture.
Right. So I, immediately jump back to being younger and what it feels like just to, you want to go do something, but you open up your wallet and there's nothing in there.
Yeah.
You know,
You experienced that when you were younger?
yeah, yeah.
I experienced that daily. You don't have any money.
Jordan struggles from time to time.
Right. Jordan,
Uh,
Amazon addictions.
Amazon is a big part of it,
Yeah, you
but
go to AA, Amazon
Amazon
addictions,
Anonymous,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that was kind of I just kind of went back to that. That was the immediate thought that jumped in my head is like, okay, let's have a wallet that's completely empty and having somebody looking into that wallet and they're crying because they're hopeless.
Mhm.
They can't do anything to change
Right,
it. They're
right.
doing everything that they can in that
Mm,
moment and it's not good enough.
mhm.
And that, to
Like this
most
feeling
people,
of despair.
right. And to
Mhm.
most people that's a defeating feeling.
Yeah.
And that's where I come up, I could have made it a male, but I don't know. There's something I like more. I just like drawing feminine stuff.
Mhm.
I mean, I really do. Uh,
And it
but
kind of has a more emotional, um, feeling coming from a female figure.
I think it does.
Yeah,
I think if you put a male in this image,
a totally different
it's
effect.
gonna have a totally different
Mhm.
feeling. So yeah, I was just like, so I kind of drew her. I had the outline, had the wallet, and then I was like, okay, now I need shapes, you know, and I need shapes that I feel like make sense. I need
Mhm.
shapes that I feel like flow, and I just started going in and drawing lines and shapes, and there was no rhyme, no reason to it. It was just kind of how I
All
felt
put
and
together.
how I felt and where the pencil was going.
Yeah,
Um, and then as I got to the coloring part of it, it was like, okay, um, there were certain parts of it that I wanted to separate. So that's why I went in with the with the heavier outlines and areas. The heavier outline separates her hair.
mhm,
Um, and that I had just had that outline there. I had done no other heavier outlines. I mean, I had all the stuff on the inside outline, but I had nothing else. I didn't really do anything else. And it wasn't until after I got it colored in that I was like, you know what? I think I want to add the heavy outline around her,
yeah,
around her hands, around the outside of the wallet. And I felt like it really kind of pulled her forward, pulled the wallet forward, and pushed the background to the back.
I agree. I think I noticed with mine, it was very important to play with the line weight of things.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. As far as the background, I did it pretty simple. I just went in. I knew I didn't want hard shapes like that's in
mhm,
her. I wanted something a little more free flowing, very cosmic,
mhm,
space like feeling. And I just went in and just started drawing. I mean, call it squiggly lines if you will. I mean,
right,
that's basically what it is. And I went in with the pencil, started putting in the lines, and then grabbed my micron pens, and I went from heavy and lightened up my line weight all the way to the top. Um, the other thing in the research that I learned about abstract art is if you're going to put something in it, it has to have purpose.
yeah, I learned that as well.
So, like for instance, my stars, I'm heavy up here in this corner.
Mhm,
I'm heavier down here, but I'm empty around her
mhm,
face, which
just feeding that void.
creating that void, creating
Mhm,
that emptiness.
right,
But then I put in these little stars here. These little uh they're actually called something. I can't remember what they're called, but it's a type of star, and that's to represent hope.
that's cool,
So,
that's cool. I like
um
that a lot.
so everything in an abstract piece has a purpose
Mhm,
to convey a feeling. And I mean, I enjoyed it. I really did. I wasn't, like I said, wasn't my favorite, but I still enjoyed it and I learned a lot from it.
yeah, that's true.
Um, and uh I think that's the unintended consequence
Mhm,
to our challenges is it wasn't something that we ever intended or thought about,
right,
was learning about everything that we're going to get to learn about.
right.
So that was my design phase. How about yours?
Oh, man. Well,
Because I know you struggled.
I struggled big time. I struggled big time. I did so many different sketches, and my issue with it at the beginning was I was going way too literal. I had so many sketches of wallets, and I wanted to do like this shattered design, and then I wanted to do this clock design with it, and I was having so many issues. And gosh, I don't even think it was until late into the weekend that I Adam and I had spoke, and he had given me some tips. He had showed me what he got so far, and he can tell that I definitely took a lot of inspiration from Adam's piece. I really enjoyed the shapes that he had with it, and that's just something that I was playing around with before, but seeing how Adam did it, I was like, "Okay, I can actually pull inspiration from this and really throw it into mine and, just kinda see what I can come up with." So, for my initial design, I was just sketching, like, on my iPad, and had drawn the wallet, and then and at first, I had a hand, morphing from the wallet, and I kinda wanted to show greed, um, and I wasn't sure exactly how to do that yet, and so I sent that to you, and I was like, "Okay, I think I'm finally onto something here." So I wanted to show greed, so I had designed the wallet, had hands coming from the wallet. And then I kind of got this idea in my head of like a mother and a father that are so focused on material items and so focused on everything else in life rather than their child. So everything with this piece, everything was an afterthought, but I kind of just put it all into one semi-cohesive image, I guess, that I feel ended up reading very powerful. You mentioned before how everything with abstract has to be intentional. So for my piece, at first I didn't even realize this, but it kind of became an interpretation that I had with it. My background, everything is horizontal. I wanted to add stars, I wanted to add more cosmic vibey stuff, but to me it almost read as water. Almost like everything in this photo is actually drowning, and there's kind of no way out of it. Um, you'll notice also that all the shapes around the parents and the wallet are all in the direction vertically up towards gold coins that are above the parents of the wallet. And then I kind of have these dead hands that are only reflecting um, the reflection of money and the gold coming from the wallet, just trying to really push that despair. I was going to color them with more cosmic vibes colors, but I really I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make these things black and gray because it to me it just made sense. Um and then the child is actually the last thing that I put in there. And I really think that it being an afterthought just adds to a little bit more power in the piece. Um, I made sure that there was good separation from the child, and especially with the mother, with putting in some more dark shading. We mentioned line weights, playing around with the
Mhm.
line weights.
Yep.
I wanted them to be bolded, and then also something that
Well,
I really liked putting in there was the eyesight from the parents is so highlighted and bolded out to only see the greed.
right.
There's also just that slight reflection of green in their eyes as well. It's blue to show sadness, but I also put the green in there to show that all they want to see is money, material items. And they're just completely ignoring their child down here, which I did in very blue, sad colors, put in some gray, put in some black. Um, and to me, it just kind of all ended up making sense. And I mean, it wasn't the best challenge ever, but
I love the feeling it conveys because when I look at it, that separation between the parents and the child, I mean that to me is I mean indicative of two parents who work nonstop. They're never home to
mhm,
spend time with their child. Their child basically is an only child and an only person at the home child.
yeah, yeah,
And unfortunately, there's a lot of kids out there that live that lifestyle,
yeah,
and it's sad. They may have everything they could ever want
right, exactly. But at the end of the
when it
day,
comes
all
to
you want,
material items, but they don't have their parents' love,
right?
and that's unfortunate.
Yes, yes.
And that's the feeling I get from it.
It's kind of neat how people, you know, interpret things differently. It's just
Mhm.
cool.
These would be 2 pieces I think would be cool to be in a, art exhibit somewhere, just because the amount of feeling that they convey.
Mhm.
I mean, 2 totally different pieces along the same lines, um, that convey 2 totally different,
Yeah.
you know, uh, 2 totally different feelings.
Right. Right. Speaking of which, like, what's the name of your piece?
Yeah, so that's something that Jordan and I want to start doing. I think on every one of our challenges now, we're going to start naming our
Mhm.
pieces, and then we'll do a bit of an artist statement on them. So mine is I've named mine Empty Hands. Um, the artist statement for this is this piece explores the emotional weight of loss and longing through abstraction. The fragmented planes and vivid, cosmic inspired colors mirror the turbulence of inner emotion, each shape representing fractured thoughts and feelings. The figures' tears fall towards an empty wallet, a symbol of absence and vulnerability, while the swirling background suggests a sea of uncertainty. By breaking realism into bold geometric forms, the artwork invites viewers to feel rather than simply see, finding beauty in the emotional chaos and the quiet ache of emptiness.
This one's deep.
It is, it's pretty deep. I mean, it really
Whoever
is.
would have thought that Crayola crowns would be so deep, you
Yeah.
know?
How about yours, Jordan?
So for mine, like I mentioned before, it's very focused on how these parents are just ignoring their child. That's what I see. And they're so focused on the materialistic of things and buy, buy, buy. So, and you can just tell that they're consumed with greed. So I wanted to name mine The Weight of Want. Um, and it really reflects how desire can consume and decay us. You know, the skeletal hands reaching up from the wallet, symbolizing greed's grip. The endless chase for wealth that drains life and emotion, and everything's just fractured forms. And the cosmic color palette, it kind of captures the beauty and the heaviness of the human longing, and how we can just crave to, just reach for the greed, and it initially will eventually destroy. Um, yeah, yeah. That's that's my statement for it. It's just interesting, and it just kind of drowns you, you know?
Yeah, it's that's kind of the cool thing about these two pieces, though, is they're actually something that convey feeling,
Yeah.
and I don't think we've done anything to that point, or anything up to that point.
I'd say the closest that we've had before is like our impressionism that we did.
I could see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yours had a very somber,
Right.
look.
Right.
Mine was like chaos, and you could kind of feel that
That's true.
within it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Um.
these, I mean, they, like I said so many times, they demand a narrative, they demand a story. And what's so cool is that they can just demand the story that you put into them as well.
Right.
Whenever I look at her, I see on Adam's piece here, I kind of see trauma. I see a woman that is just so lost and stuck in such a void of trying and hoping that there's no way out. There's no way out. Not even that if it's about money. Like the wallet just shows like, debt and how hard things are today. That's what I see. Is just how difficult, how things are just voided, and yeah. Yeah.
It's an interesting take on it. I
Mhm.
like it. Um. What do you like about yours?
So for me, I think that okay, so I kind of like the little tricks that I did within this. And then to be completely honest with you guys, once I had it colored, I tried to do a couple more things, and I was overall just like, I'm so done. I'm done. All right. I just want to relax. But the things that I like is I like how so the male figure up here. I was worried that it could potentially look like three different stages of the same person. And on the male figure, rather than him being kind of cohesively the shade of monochrome one color, um, I wanted to add the structure of what could potentially be facial hair. On the mother, I added, long hair here in the back. It's very, to me, it's readable as hair. And then on the child, I wanted, a very childish um shape to the face. I did not
Mm-hmm.
want, a strong jawline. I didn't want a defined chin.
Wanted that more round.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that round, almost baby look.
Right.
Um, Also another thing that I put on there that's just a little something something that I like is I put the golden jewelry on the
Yep.
parents, and then the child has nothing. The parents are
Mhm.
just so consumed in their own greed. And then I think that probably my favorite tweak that I put on it was just the eyesight, which was, like I mentioned before, this whole thing is an afterthought, and it just all kind of came together. The eyesight from the parents, playing with the line weights, just having it only focus on the money that's ahead of them, that's essentially drowning them. So that's what I like. It was cool. I also like that I added some stitches to the wallet because I think that just helped make it read more as a wallet. It kind of read as like a fountain at first or like a box, but it's a wallet. And then I ended up adding money into the wallet because at first I kind of wanted it a little bit voided.
I love the fact you added money into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to throw in some green too just for the cosmic vibe, and I was like, "You know what? Screw it. I'm going to do it." And
No, I'm so glad you did that.
I think it read and made a lot more sense.
Yep.
Yeah. And, like, they have it. It also kinda shows they have it. They have the money,
Right.
but they're just wanting more
More
and
and more
more
and
and
more.
more, just consuming themselves in the greed and ignoring everything else around them that's drowning and in trouble and traumatized, and they're just only solely focused on the greed, which is just cool. It's just neat.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
yeah.
Do you have any dislikes?
I think I think my dislikes mostly come from the medium itself. The dislikes I have is I feel like there's a lot of not smooth spaces, but also that's also from laziness and not, doing the trick at the end. I wanted to add stars. I wish I would have added stars, but it would have taken away, I think, from
I think it would have.
yeah, it would have taken away from
Yeah.
the drowning effect. I
I I
I didn't
don't.
want to throw any hope into this thing.
Yeah. No. My likes. I kind of like everything overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I like the fact that, I was a little unsure about adding the yellows and the oranges in it, being a cosmic vibe theme, but
Look at outer
if you
space.
look at outer space, you got yellows,
Yes.
you got oranges, you got blues, you got purples, you got pinks.
Yes.
So really, you have the entire color
Right.
spectrum to
I
work with.
I was a little bit nervous with that as well, and really quick, I'll head on this with my design. Um, the child in blue for the sadness, the despair, and then I kind of wanted the woman to almost read as like she's still maybe holding on a little bit
Right,
to things, and I wanted to push the purples, and there's just the slightest bit of blue in her. And now the father, he is like kind of leading that greed.
right,
And so I popped in some more reds, some more greedy colors in him. Um, yeah, so I think that putting the reds in, look at Mars, look at outer space. There's every color in the color wheel up there. As long as it kind of reads that classic cosmic vibe,
right.
then I think it's all good.
Well, and I felt like, for mine, the reds and the yellows are like, man, it's like that's your hope, that's your light.
Mhm.
And then, you know, moving down through the picture, it gets into those more uh, depressive colors, if you will.
Right, feeding
Uh,
the void.
right. Of feeding that void of nothing, no money. So I really like that. Um, Dislikes, like I said, I like everything about it. I like the line weights. I like the shapes, the way I made the shapes flow. I like.
Mhm.
Um, the dislikes, I really don't have many. I mean, I'm kinda like you. If I had dislikes, it's gonna be with the
With the
medium.
medium.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
the Crayola crayon.
right.
I did figure out though, like if you feel this, it does not feel like it's been
Yeah.
colored with Crayola crayon. I took and I colored it like I would color a section. And I'd take a lighter and I'd hold it up to a
Mhm.
lighter, and then I'd take and lay it down on the table, and I'd take a paper towel and I wipe it off.
Yeah.
And what I
Burn that
learned
wax out of there.
Yeah, what I learned is after you did that, then you could come back in and layer more color on top of it and
Mhm.
change the color, the tone, and the texture of the color underneath. So I learned a little bit about it. Like I said, the challenge is just I don't like Crayola crowns, people. I just don't. I mean, to me, it's throwing you back to grade school, and I like to go forward. I don't like to go backwards.
Yeah. Yeah, but you just gotta remember the good
I
times, you
know.
know?
I
I
know.
I think that this challenge for me personally, I would have loved to paint it. I would have loved to paint this because, man, that just would have been so great.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with the Medusas.
Mhm.
learning watercolor. I would have loved to do
Yeah,
watercolor
I
on
think the
this. I mean,
watercolor would have been so much better on this
yeah,
too,
but
right? I honestly, any medium,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. Speaking of Medusas, something that we forgot to do at the beginning of the episode.
Oh, yeah. So for our Medusa challenge, rather than, um
Well, first off, what is that segment called?
recap, recap, recap.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. Recap, recap, recap. So,
So,
instead of representing, um, a
well, instead of doing, we decided not to do a single winner.
yeah,
Jordan, you know, she obviously took the reins and would have won um, by a commanding lead.
which was kind of
We ended up
wild.
with how many votes?
So, last week we ended up with 58 votes. Didn't
50.
quite break to the 60,
But
but we are getting closer and closer. I mean, every week, thank you everyone who is
yeah,
voting. It is
and
so
it's hitting that 50 mark pretty quick.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, which is nice.
within just a couple hours, we're sitting at high 40s, low 50s,
Mhm.
which I
Thank you,
absolutely love.
everybody.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thank you. Keep doing it. Keep voting.
Yeah.
But
We would just love so much and just see where everything goes with this, you know?
so Jordan and I, we discussed, well, more or less Jordan brought it to my
Mhm.
attention. Um,
So once we spoke on it last week in our podcast, the origin story for Medusa. So rather than recognizing the winner for that week, we just wanted to the these were not just art, but they were a tribute to everyone that is an SA survivor. And if you go on our Facebook page, you can see the post that we made up for you guys for everyone. Just always remember that your strength and your story can never be turned into stone, and you're all beautiful and all amazing. So those Medusa pieces, they were all for you. And just thank you to everybody who voted. And yeah, just thank you to everyone. It was a really fun challenge.
it was. I enjoyed it immensely, and I
Yes.
enjoyed the, you know, dedicating it to somebody. That means
Yes.
that takes it from just a challenge to something so much more.
Yeah, and it was kinda nice to, um, kind of have that realization whenever, I was working on it and then hearing that origin story, finally understanding that reason why people get these tattoos. Um, so just yeah, rather than recognizing a winner, it was a tribute to all SA survivors, and like I mentioned, you're all beautiful, and nothing that you do will ever turn you to stone. You're amazing.
Awesome. Um, Anything else that you want to add to this week's challenge with the Crayola crowns and
Don't be too sad about it, Adam.
well, you know what? You can't ever be too sad about it because guess what? It's
We're on to the
Wednesday
next one.
and we're rolling for a new one.
Yep,
So
yep. Yeah.
anyway, guys, be sure to follow us on Facebook at Parlor Number 13, as well as on Instagram, Talk Parlor Number 13 on YouTube and on all of your popular podcast platforms.
Also, definitely be checking in with Facebook soon to see what new stuff we might have up this week for our viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Go check that out.
Got some stuff
Might
coming up.
might have some ideas.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There'll be more to follow on
More
that.
to follow.
So just keep tuned into Facebook.
Mhm.
That's what we can tell you. Just check in there, a couple, 2, 3, 4 times a week.
Yeah.
See
or
what's
every
going
day.
on, or every day, because there's gonna be some stuff that you don't want to miss.
Yeah, exactly that. So don't forget to come back next Thursday to see our new podcast, and then also don't forget to check out our Facebook page, Parlor Number 13 by Talk J. by Parlor
Yeah.
Number 13 by JNA, and check out our new vote that we have up for next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Currently no winner. We will go over that in our next recap.
Yeah. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment with your thoughts, and choose your favorite artwork. As always, keep the creativity flowing. Let your inspiration soar. Together we create, we inspire, and we transform art into a journey.
A journey.
And we will see you at the next challenge. And as always,
Wherever you're at, be safe.